Hey there again. Welcome to episode 2 of Road to Data Engineer. So one thing I forgot to mention in the introduction is that as I'm working on the side project, I'm going to be publishing all the code on GitHub. So this episode is going to be all about learning how to use Git and GitHub. I created a GitHub account a little while back, so that's this here. And I know very little about Git. I've never really used it before. So a little while back, I went through the first 10 minutes or so of this Kevin Stratvert video and was just learning a little bit. And I like this video, so I'm going to go ahead and finish that today. And we're just, jumping in and, learning as I go. And this is kind of the first step, obviously, if I want to host my code on GitHub and learn how all that works. So also, this might change in the future. But at least for now, I'm going to have my second display also recording. So you can kind of see my note-taking process, my learning process. As I'm working on stuff, I'm always taking notes off to the side. And, there's not too much in this OneNote currently, but eventually I'll transfer the notes from my other PC into this OneNote as well. And then it'll be more filled out with, the notes I've taken over the last year and a half since I became a full-time analyst. So, okay. So we're just going to jump in, and I'm going to be pausing the video as I go and trying stuff out that he's showing. First couple minutes might just be me catching up where I left off. I kind of reviewed my notes from when I started this video a little while back. And yeah, let's get into it.
Out this view. Now that we're ignoring one of the files, I want Git to track all of the other files. Earlier, we tracked that one file index.htm, but then I also untracked it. So how do I just track all of the files? Here I could type in git add --all, and that'll track all of the files. Alternatively, I could also type in -A, or I could even simply type in dot for the entire directory. Those are all different ways that I can track all of the files. Here I'll press enter. And let's check what happened. Once again, let's type in git status, hit enter, and here I can see that all of these files are currently being tracked, except for that file that I...
So let's see. A couple stuff that I deleted, some untracked stuff, and that's in this folder here. Git status allows me to show everything. Excuse me. I have that in my notes. Git config, yeah, shows the status of our repo. Untracked, 2 tracks, okay.
I ignored. And currently all of these files are in an environment called staging. Now that I've added all of these different files, I want to commit them. So what does it mean to commit? To commit, you're taking a snapshot of your repository at this point in time. Basically, what all of your files look like right now. In a sense, it's like writing an entry into a history book. And if you ever want to go back to this point in the future, you could do that. To commit them, we could use the commit command. I'll type in git commit -m and then open quotes, and here I can type in a message to go along with this commit. Now remember...
Okay, so I think I'm gonna go ahead and set up a couple files and just go through the couple things that I took notes on when I first started watching this video a while back. So let's just clean up the directory a little bit. So I do remember the git ignore stuff, but I'm not ignoring any files right now. So let's just do, what do I want? I probably want to save like a Python file in here, a text file, and I want to maybe ignore one type of file. I don't know, we're just going to have this repo ignore Word files. So let's kind of go through that. We're going to set up a Word file, blank document. Here we go. Word file, I want to ignore using git. Dummy word de doc. x, okay. So boom. Let's see if this works. So in my get ignore file, let's see, how do I ignore stuff? Ignoring files. So I have my get ignore, open the file in text editor, write comments, testing out by ignoring a Word file .docx. Write the names of the file you want to ignore and say, for example, you want to ignore text file. You can also have ignore specific file types by writing star.file extension. So let's just try to ignore all Word docs, docx. Once I save that, it should ignore. Let's check the status first. It's already moved to the directory. Git status, I think it was. Dummy Word doc. Okay, it sees that I deleted those other ones. What will be untracked? No changes added to commit. Git add, cached file, git rm. Makes Git stop tracking the file. It only looks in current directory. Git rm. No passback was given, which file should I remove? Git rm. Git. Let's see if we can remove these older ones that I deleted. Test.txt. So git status. Okay. Git diff. Let's try that one out. Different stuff. Okay. Okay. What's going on there? Testing. No new line diff. Index. Second staging file. No text. Press return. And I don't know what's going on. I think I'm just going to relaunch it. Okay, close anyways. Open again. Now I get repo, so I need to move to the right directory. So let's do that. Oh no. Forgot you can't just backspace, you have to use delete. Or I think so. Maybe I have my insert key on. Maybe? Hopefully. Okay, well. Count me confused. Oh, this should work anyways. Delete. Okay. Git. Oh, I didn't close it. So cd, we'll paste. C dot user grant OneDrive road to DE data projects git. There we go. I don't know what's going on. Let's try again. Okay. So CD. Need to actually copy the right file directory. Paste it in. Okay. Okay. There we go. Finally got it to change the right directory. So git status. So use git restore. Get deleted, change, not state changes to be committed. Not stage. How do I stage them? So I basically use git add rm file to update what will be committed. Use git restore to discard changes in working directory. Untracked file. So I think I need to do git add m these files here. And then I need to do a commit to basically say I deleted them and I wanted them to be deleted. Git add. Git rm. Can I do them all though? Maybe. Let's try. Git rm. That did not work. Oh, git rm. This might work. Error unknown option all. Okay. Do not list. Only remove. Period. It'll not remove recursively without R. Let's ask GPT. And see if it has such a suggestion. I do not want to sign in. Hey GPT. I have several files in my Git repository that I have deleted. Git is showing them as not staged before commit and that I deleted the files. How can I get Git to not forget about, but basically no longer track these files? Because I did mean to delete them. Using git rm cached, here we go. Remove files from this tells Git to stop tracking the files but leaves them in your working directory. Replace with the path. If you have multiple files, you can specify inst git rm or use wildcards for bulk. .text git commit /m. This commits the removal of the files from Git, effectively updating to reflect. Okay, so this is really what. So I want to commit them using git add u. Including this changes git add u. Let's try that actually, maybe. Stage all modifications, including commit the changes, remove deleted files from tracking. So let's try this. Git add u. Git status. It should show everything is staged to be committed. Yes. Okay. Commands. 3 different. Okay, so let's kind of add that to my notes. I might want to lay these out a little different. staging files. Git add view command that stages all changes to tracked files, including deletions. Okay. Git commit in. This commits the changes, and then I just need to do a commit. And then I always want to make a commit. Okay, so that makes sense. So git commit /in, make my comment. Committing deletion of old.txt files for a fresh and clean repo. Okay. Okay, so then I still have my file that's untracked. Okay, so let's create my other couple files. We're going to create a text file. Example text file that I'm using for learning how to use Git. Git example text. Save. And then we're going to create a Python file as well. So we can close that. Let's do this. Python file used for learning / testing Git. GitHub. Is new to me. Okay, so should be able to run this. Run file GitHub is new to me. Hello, YouTube. Okay, so that makes sense. Obviously need to store this file somewhere. So file, save as. I want to save it in Spider. Git Python example. Okay, let's see if it'll still run. Yeah, awesome. Okay, go ahead and close that. Yep, awesome. Okay, so let's see if Git knows what's up. Git status. Okay, so I see my 3 files. None of them are tracked, none of them are staged, nothing. So I want to ignore the word file. So I'm going to add docx to my git ignore and close that. Git status. Okay, awesome. Oh, and it sees that we modified git ignore. That's funny. Okay. So let's see. Let's try some of these other commands. Git diff. Testing out my own line in a file. Because what, that one's tracked. Changes not stage, untracked files. How do I make it a tracked file? Git add file. Only looks git add all. So I really want to track all of them. So I'm going to do git add all. Okay. And now they're all staged. Use git restore to unstage. Okay, that makes sense. So they're all staged, and I really want to commit them. Git commit /m or -m. And committing new files to new example files to my repo. 3 files trained, 17 resources creation mode. So git status. Git status. Nothing to commit. Working tree. Clean. Nice. Okay. Okay, so I think I'm in a good place to pick up where I left off with the tutorial. Actually gonna step out for just a second while I turn on the AC and use the restroom. Okay, I'm back. That's better. I had to turn on the AC. It's the summer, and I start to get a little sweaty here in the apartment. Okay. All right, Kevin Stratvert, teach me some stuff, man.
Remember, when we commit something, that's like writing the current state of all of these different files to the history books, and this message will go along with that entry. Here, I'll say this is my first commit. And let's say committing all files to the repository. Then I'll close my quotes, and here I could press enter. Congratulations, you just finished your first commit, and there's now a page in the history books. That wasn't so bad, was it? And just like that, I've now committed all 4 of these files, and they are now officially part of the Git record. Here I could type in git status once again, and I see that there are no longer any files to commit. Let's say I now want to change one of my files.
Let's do it.
I want to modify the index.htm file. Here I'll click on this file and I'll drag it into Notepad. And here we see the contents of the file. Now, if you remember, we say eggs from chickens that listen to classical music, but I've recently found out that that's actually not true. So let me remove this reference and maybe we just say that are, let's say, free range. And next I can go up to File and I can now save this file. Back within Git, I can now type in git status, hit enter, And Git recognizes that one of these files has been modified.
So just testing that out too, but pretty much already know it's gonna work. Git status. Boom, our example text file has been modified. Actually gonna move this over here.
To see what's been modified, Git has a command for this. We could simply type in git diff, and this will show us what the differences are. I'll hit enter. And
okay, here we go, git diff. So this allows us to see what's been modified. So let's take a peek at that. So I already took a note down about git diff. Committed files and your files waiting to be committed. Okay. So git diff, example text.txt, index, file that I'm using for learning how to use Git. No new line at end of file. I'm using Git. I'm making my first change. No new line. Okay, so this was the old one. This was the new one. So let's see, what if I change my Python file? And now that I'm using Spider, I should probably set that as my default. Properties. Opens with, let's change that. More apps. Look for another app on the PC. Ooh, I need to find the app location for Spider. Open file location. Programs. Program data, local disk, okay. Microsoft. Ooh, I already feel the AC kicking on. That feels good. Start menu. I don't know if this is going to work. I hope so. This should be fine. Spider. Okay, here we go. Maybe, did that work? I don't know if that worked. I don't think that worked. That definitely did not work. Let's try that again. Change. More apps. Apps. Program files. Spider. Oops, here we go. Hey GPT, how do I get my Windows PC to always open .py files with Spider? Did that already. Right click, choose another app. Choose Spider. Click on it. If not, click list of. This is the part I need to find the list of available applications. Browse for Spider X. I need the exe file. App data local date program Spider. Maybe not. Users, me, app data, local program Spider. No. Cancel. Check, always use this app. This PC. C drive, users, the app data. Oh, Spider Pi 3, maybe. I wonder if other stuff is here, like Microsoft VS, Show Studio. Spider app data local. Local programs. Maybe it's in. Installation directory. I wonder if Spider will show me where it's located. Let's see. I'm having trouble finding the .exe file for Spider. Can you give me suggestions on how to find it? You're having trouble. Your default programs. I feel like I already looked there though. Navigate. I don't know if this is gonna work, but let's see. I feel like this is not gonna work. Yeah, no file. I could reinstall it, but that would kind of be. Yeah, this should. Oh, there's literally the exe here. Open file location. I feel like that's the install. Not. In the start menu, the shortcut points to this. Target. Oh, here we go. Program files, Spider, Python, Python exe. Launch. So it's just under program files. maybe? Spider, Python, Python. W.exe. We're going to try it. So let's another file explorer and go to my Python file. Properties. Opens with more apps. Program files. Spider. Python. Python. Okay. Apply. And hit OK. Now let's close the app itself. Try it again. This is still not working. I mean, let's Google. Getting Python files to open in Spider. As default. Set Spider as default for Py. Here we go. Good old Stack Overflow. Oh, a .bat file? That's gross. Create a spider.bat file. Start your path, CW, your path, and the kind of sort of spider script. Huh. You must just create a spider file. I don't really want to create a bat file. Anaconda. Maybe that's my issue. I need to select Anaconda. Spider launch. .py. Maybe try that again. Properties. Program file spider launch py w. Apps. Spider launch. I don't know. Where Anaconda is installed. Maybe it's because I don't have Anaconda and I just installed Spider directly. I don't know. Okay, maybe I gotta do it the hard way and just use Spider itself or edit with Spider. That's too bad. But oh well, sorry. Windows Explorer is freaking out. That's kind of unfortunate. Maybe that's why. I don't know. I don't know what's going on here. Close window. Okay, so where were we? I did git diff to see the differences between my text file, and now I want to change my Python file and see the differences. So let's do that as well. Edit with Spider. Man, I feel silly going through all that and not being able to do it without a bat file. That's weird. Okay, here we go. So we're making a couple changes. New changes. For testing Git. Initializing a list variable. Let's just do BJJ belts. White, blue, purple, brown, black. Print. Yep. There we go. Let's save the file. I think it saves on run. And let's do git status. We should see 2 uncommitted. Yes. Modified. Yes. It's git diff. So our text file, we see our differences. Example text difference git index. Yep, and then here print hello. Print hello to new changes for testing. Oh, that's our no new line. So it was saying no new line in file. And it's saying, okay, I had that plus spaces. Okay, so I can see my changes. It's good.
Right here, if I scroll up just a little bit, here we can see what the file name is. And here I can see the original text in red, and here I can see the changed text in green.
Yeah.
So once again, the red text shows that listen to classical music, and down here in the green text, we see that are free range. I'm satisfied with all of these changes, and once again, I want to add this change to the history books.
So we want to commit.
Let's once again type in git add index.htm. The file is now currently sitting in staging. Staging is a place where your files sit until you're ready to commit them. In a sense, it's kind of like a holding pen until you're ready to add that entry to the history books. In Git, you have 3 different environments. You have your working files where you can make edits to files. Then you have staging, and once again, this is that holding pen until you're ready to add it to the history books. And then you have your third environment, or where you commit things. And this has now been added as a log or an entry into the history books. Let's say I want to remove this file from staging. Maybe I'm not ready to commit it. I could type in the command git restore -- staged and then index.htm.
Yep.
Now, once I press that, this moves that file back to my working files. So if I were to commit now, this file would not be included because this file is currently in the working environment. So let's say that maybe you're working on 6 files, and let's say that 3 of them you're ready to commit. You could move those 3 to staging, and then you could commit them, and the files that are currently in the working files, those would not be included. The index.htm file is once again in my working files, but I do actually want to commit it. So once again, I could add it back to staging, and then I could commit it from staging. But I could also just bypass or skip over staging altogether. To do that, let's simply type in git commit -a-m, and here I could say updated text to free range. Then I can close my quotes. And now when I hit enter, this skips over the staging step and it's now committed this change.
Okay, so I want to write
enter
that down.
this.
So git commit -a-m. Git commit -a-m. Switch m requires a value. Oh, I need to add a comment. Committing all files, even those not staged. 2 files. So git status, staging files. Committing files. Git. Oops. I do not want that auto capitalized. Git commit /a/m comment or commit. Command to commit all files, even those that have not been placed in staging. Git commit requires a comment to commit. Okay. 1 file change, 1 insertion, 1 deletion. 2 files change, 9 insertions, 2 deletions. Interesting.
Skips over the staging step and it's now committed this change. Here within my Git repository, I have one file called secret recipe, and I definitely don't want that falling into the wrong hands. So I should probably just delete the file. And I could do that directly through Git. I could type in git rm for remove, and then I could type in the file name, secretrecipe.htm, and then close my quotes. But an even easier way to do that, just directly in File Explorer, I could also delete the file right here, and now that file's gone. Back within the terminal, let's type in git status and then hit enter. And here, Git recognizes that this file has been deleted.
So
and the reason why is this is
earlier.
one of the files that Git is tracking. On second thought, maybe I should keep this file. I personally haven't memorized the secret recipe yet. And right up here, I see a helpful hint. If I want to restore this file, I can type in git restore and then the file name. So let's test that out. I'll type in git restore, and here I'll insert quotes, and let's type in secretrecipe.htm and then close quotes and hit enter. If I go back to File Explorer, look at that. The file is now back. Now, once again, this is...
Ooh, that's sick. That is so sick. So I'm going to test restoring my Python file here. Committing files, staging files. Restoring files. So git restore file name. Command that restores deleted files back to file directory / git repo. That's so sick. So I see nothing. My Python file is gone, so let's restore it. Git restore git python, gotta spell it right, example.py. Dude, that is so sick. Let's edit it with Spider. Oh, that is so sick. Now, what if I don't have it staged? So let's make a change. So let's do git status. Okay, so everything's good. So my belt equals equals purple belt. Okay, let's save that, and then we should see the change reflected in Git. Modified. Now, if I don't commit it and delete it, I'm guessing when I restore it, it's not going to have this new variable. So let's try that. It'll probably only restore what I committed. So delete, git status. I can see it was deleted. To discard changes to update what will be committed. Okay, so let's try it again. Git restore git python example.py. There it is. We're going to edit with spider. Ooh, I wonder what status will tell me. It says everything is right. Okay, yeah, so it only restores stuff I've committed. So let's take a note of that. Git, when restoring files with Git, will only restore committed files. So if a file was changed and then deleted before being committed to the repo, when you restore the file, it will not contain changes last made. That makes sense. So you've got to like actually commit your stuff. Okay.
One of the advantages of working with Git. If you've ever previously committed a file, you can always go back to a previous version, or you could recover that previous version if you need to. Similar to deleting a file, if you want to rename a file, you could either do that directly in File Explorer, or you could do that back in the terminal. Let's try renaming a file in the terminal. I'll type in git mv, and we're using mv, and that stands for move. So we're basically moving from an old file name to a new file name. Here I'll type in the original file name, and that's kcclogo.png. And I want to move to the new name primarylogo.png.
So we're going to just do like file manipulation. Basic file manipulation. Git mv old file name new file name.
Then I'll close my quotes and let's hit enter. If we go back to File Explorer, here I can see that the file name has been updated. I want to add this change to the history books. Basically, I want to add an entry that says that this file name has been changed.
So let's play around with changing the name, deleting, restoring, etc. So git mv so we're going to do status. I want to list everything that's there. I feel like directory. Yeah, directory is the command prompt that shows everything. So boom. So git mv do I have to put quotes? Example text.text new name text. Hey, but I need the quotes if I want to have spaces and stuff. To unstage. So I'm trying to see if I can restore the old name. Git restore new name. Git status renamed. So what happens if I do this? Delete the file, git status, delete it, new name, git restore new name.txt, git status. Interesting. So it like kind of semi-stages it to unsaged. So git restore staged new name.txt, git status untracked. So what happens if I delete it now? Git status, delete it. Interesting. Git restore example text.txt. Git restore new name.txt. Git restore example text.txt. Interesting. So you have to kind of, interesting. You gotta be careful when you're changing the name.
I'll type in git commit -m, and then here I could type in the message. So let's say we changed the file name of an image, and then I'll close my quotes, and here I could hit enter, and that has now been committed. So far, we've made a number of different commits, or basically entries to the history book or the log. What if we want to review all of the different commits that we've made? We could type in the command git log and then press enter, and here we see all of the different commits.
Git log. Commit headmaster Sunday. Okay, awesome. So this is kind of a general command. My first commit, committing all, testing the difference between staging and committing deletion. Oh, and some of these are from back when I first started messing with Git in March. That's cool. That's so cool. July 14, committing new example files, committing all files even though it's not staged. That's so sick. Okay, let's add it to my notes. Git log. Command to show a log of commits.
Every single commit has a unique identifier. Here we also see the author, and if you remember at the very beginning we defined who the author is. So I typed in Kevin Stratvert, and then we also typed in an email address. Then I could also see the associated date with this commit. So here at the top we go with the most recent all the way down to the oldest commits. And right here I could also see the text that I typed in as part of that commit. If I want a more abbreviated version of this view, I could type in git log --1 line, and then I could hit enter, and here we see an abbreviated version of all of the commit history.
Log --1 line. Commit show abbreviated view of commit log. So let's look at that. Git log --1 line. Awesome. That is so cool. That is so cool, man.
Now, looking at this commit history, I just noticed that I typed in this text incorrectly. And I could go back and commit again and then type in the text properly, but I actually just want to amend that text. Luckily with Git, we can do that. I'll type in git commit -m, and here I'll say changed file name to primary logo.png, and then close my quotes. And at the very end of this commit command, I could type in --amend and then press enter. And that's now amended that entry.
How did that work? Amend. most recent one, I guess.
Now here I could press the arrow up icon on my keyboard and I could go through all of the different previous commands that I've entered. I could go up to git log -- one line, hit enter, and here you see that that text has now been corrected. So that's a really neat way that you can just go back and quickly amend a previous commit without having to submit yet another commit into the history books. I have all of these different commits, but let's say I want to see what actually changed in these different commits. I mean, I have...
Okay, so I don't quite understand the amend there. So let's look it up. Git amend. Git commit amend. Let's use W3 schools. Come on. All right. I'll be right back. I gotta turn down the AC. It's getting a little chilly now. It's a little too high. Okay, I'm back. Git commit amend is used. Oh, it only modifies the most recent commit. So that makes sense. Okay. Git commit amend. Command to modify the most recent commit. So let's full screen this. Git commit. Okay, so the command had m before it, I think. Git commit m amend. So let's try to test that. Commit comment. Most often used to change commit comments. Okay, so let's look at my log. So git log -- one line, committing new examples files to my repo. Git commit in -- amend. Committing all files to my repo. Actually, yeah, this is a legit change. To my repo, even those not staged. To Git. Interesting. How did he do the amend again? Amend. Git commit m to primary logo dot. Committing all. W3 again. Git commit mn m. Added lines to git commit. Git commit add m. Maybe I spelled it wrong. Oh, I have to do amend first. Amend. Committing all files to my repo, even those not staged. Yes, there we go. I just had to do amend. Okay. Dash dash amend dash m. Committing all files, even those not staged. Git log dash dash one line. Nice. Oh, I respelled repo wrong, so just a chance to get more practice. Committing all files to my repo, spelled right, even those not staged. Option amend. I spelled amend wrong now. It's only one M, not two. It's fine. There we go. Git log. Committing. I spelled commit wrong, but whatever. Did I spell it right? No, I spelled it right. Yeah, I spelled it right. Committing. I think I did. Let's see. Oh, I did spell it wrong. Okay, one last try. Git commit amend dash dash amend. Good thing I'm looking at my notes. / m. Committing all files to my repo, even those not staged. Git log dash dash one line. Committing all files to my repo. Wow, I spelled repo wrong again. Git commit. Okay, committing stage dash dash min git log one line. Okay, cool. Finally. Took long enough. All right, let's move on.
Some text here, but what if I want to dig into the specifics? Here I could type in git log -p and then hit enter. And here I could look through and see all of the different changes. Here, for example, I could see in the most recent commit, I changed the file name to primarylogo.png. And here I could see that I updated text to free range. And if I press my arrow key down, here I could see what the original text was, and I could see what the new text was. And if I press my arrow key down some more, here I could see my very first commit, where I added all of these different files to the Git repository. To exit this view, I can press Q on my...
Okay, let's look at these. Let's just look at the bottom result. Now this is my okay, here we go. The most recent commit. So there I can see all the change. file. Print hello YouTube. Print commit date. Okay, here we go. So command to display detailed log of commits, showing commits as well as what is actually changed in the files. That's so cool. This git is really cool. Super cool. Oh, hit Q to exit. Boom. That's awesome. That's so cool.
Keyboard Q for quit, and that exits out of this view. Git log has all sorts of advanced capabilities. You could search for specific text. You could look for changes that happened before a certain date or even after a certain date. Now, once again, as we looked at earlier, if you want to find out the full capabilities, you could type in git help log and then hit enter. This once again opens up the manual for git log, and here you can see the description, and here you could go through to see all of the different capabilities of how you could find specific changes in your commits. One of the great things about having this commit history is you can always jump back to previous commits. To do that, you simply type in git reset, and then you can type in the hashtag. So here, for instance, if I wanted to jump to updated text to free range, I could simply type in this value here, and that would bring me back. Now, of course, I don't want to do that, so I'm going to remove this. You also have the option to modify what appears in the history book and also the order in which all of these commits appear. And you can do that using something called rebasing. Here I could type in git rebase -i -root and then hit enter. This brings me into an editor. Here I see my 3 commits, and then I have all of these different options to modify the way things appear. Once again, I could change the order. I could even merge together or squash 2 of these commits. Now, this is beyond the scope of this video today, but I wanted to let you know that this is possible. To exit this view, press...
Yeah, he says that's all like beyond the scope of the video, which totally makes sense to me. Like, that seems like stuff that would be nice to have, but not needs to have, and probably not worth spending too much time on right now. But good to know that, like, hey, I can really mess with the git log itself if needed or desired.
The colon key, then X, and hit enter, and that brings us back into the main terminal view. So far, we've been making all of our changes just directly to the main branch. But you can also set up additional branches. What is another branch? Another branch is basically a copy of your main branch, and it has all the same entries in that history book. But this allows you to go off and work on, let's say, a feature, or maybe you're fixing a bug, and you can make all your changes and it won't affect the main branch. Once you're satisfied with all of your changes, you can then merge it back into the main branch. This is also how software development typically works. You'll have developers, and maybe one's working on a new feature. They'll create a new branch to work on that new feature. Maybe someone else is working on a bug fix, and they'll create another branch to work on that bug fix. And once they finish all of their work and they're satisfied with how it looks, they can merge that back into main. Here in File Explorer, there is a file called Secret Recipe, and this has the Kevin Cookie Company secret recipe in it. Now, I probably shouldn't be showing you this, but we've been working a bit together now, and I trust you. Let's click into this file. Here within the secret recipe, all of this looks pretty good, and this is a really good chocolate chip cookie recipe. But right down here, I see that it calls out heating the oven to 500 degrees Fahrenheit. That's extremely hot, and that would probably burn the cookies. I need to change this to 375 degrees Fahrenheit. Let's create another branch to make this change, and once we're satisfied with the change, then we can merge it back onto the main branch. To create a new branch, I'll type in git branch, and now I could type in a name for this new branch. I want to update or fix the temperature. I'll type in fix temp and then press enter. So now we should have 2 branches. To confirm how many branches we have, I can type in git branch and then hit enter. And here I can see that there's one branch called fix temp, and there's another branch that we're currently in called main.
Okay, cool. Git branch. Git branch. And to display all branches. Oh, there you go. Git branch. New branch. And to create a new branch. So git branch. Creating a new text file. Oh, it's new text file. Oh, probably can't have spaces in the branch name. Git branch, new text file. Git branch. Okay.
How do I know that we're currently in main? Well, right over here, I see an asterisk next to main, indicating that this is the currently active branch. To switch into the other branch, let's type in git switch.
The asterisk next to a branch name lets you know that is the branch you are currently active in.
And then I can type in fix temp and hit enter.
Git switch. Okay. Git switch branch name. And to switch to desired git branch. Yep.
And here it says that we've switched to branch fix temp. Once again, I can type in git branch,
switch to branch,
and then hit enter. And here I see that fix temp is the currently active branch, and here I see the asterisk indicating that. I've opened up File Explorer, and all of the files that you see here in the repository, these reflect the fix temp branch. Now I want to edit the secret recipe temperature. I'll take this file and I'll drag it over into Notepad. And here I can see the contents of secret recipe. Now, once again, I want to change the temperature down here. Currently it says 500. Let's change that to 375 and then click on save. Back now within git bash, let's check the status of this branch. I'll type in git status and then hit enter. And here,
so let's create a new text file. Example text. New branch text file. Save. Git status. Example text. That's so weird. I wonder how that works. And I honestly want to change the name of it too. Git mv example text .txt to branch text .txt. Fatal, not under version control. Source destination. Did I use the command correctly? Where is that git mv command? Restoring git mv. We have to commit it first. On branch new text file, git switch main git branch. master, git switch master, git status. Interesting. Okay, so we'll see what he says. New text file.
I can see that there is one modified file for secret recipe. We just updated the temperature, so that makes sense. Now I want to commit this change to this branch. Just like we did before, let's type in git commit -a-m, and then here I'll say updated temp for baking instructions. Then I'll close the quote and hit enter. And that has now committed the change.
Nothing added to commit, but use git add to track. Git commit a-m. Place and staging. Oh. Yo, so git a-m committing new file to text branch. Untrack files, use git add to track. What am I doing wrong? What did he do? A-m commit.
M, or let's type in git commit this. We just updated the temperature, so that makes sense. Now I want to commit this change to this branch. Just like we did before, let's type in git commit -a-m, and then here I'll say updated temp for baking instructions. Then I'll close the quotes and hit enter. And that has now committed the change to this branch. Next, let's switch back to main. Here I'll type in git switch main.
Maybe it's because of the branch. Maybe it's not view. Maybe File Explorer is not viewing me as in the right branch. Let's change that. Git switch master. Git branch. Yep, I'm on the master branch. Git commit a-m committing text file. Interesting. Why is that not working? A-m. Let's switch again. Git switch or git branch, new text file, git switch, new text file. Let's stage the file. To tracked files. Maybe it's not tracked? Oh, did he do a git add? Git status. Git. No. Git add. Git status. Not sure what's going on there, but it's ready to be committed at least. Committing text file to text branch. Git log. Git log. One line. Head. Master. Oh, it shows what branch it's in, I think.
Then hit enter. Here within File Explorer, because we switched back into main, all of these files reflect the current state within the main branch. So
Whoa, that's so cool. I switched to the master branch and it disappeared. That's sick. New text. That is so sick.
here, if I click into secret recipe, here we'll see that it still refers to 500
That
degrees
is
Fahrenheit.
awesome.
We only changed it in the fixed temp branch. So we now need to bring those changes from fixed temp back into main.
So I gotta merge the branch, right?
We need to merge those changes in.
Yeah.
To merge all of the changes back in, let's type in git merge -m, and here we can type in a message for this merge. I'll type in merge fixed temp back to main, and then close my quotes. Then I also need to specify what branch I want to merge back into main. Here I'll type in fixed temp and then hit enter. And there I can see that the file has now been merged back into main. Here in File Explorer in the main view, I can now click on the secret recipe.
Okay, let's do it. Git merge -m. Merging text file back into main. Yep. And then new text file. What?
Recipe and main. Here, enter. I want to merge back into main. Here, I'll type in fixed temp and then hit enter.
Oh, do I have to be on the actual branch I want to merge into? Let's see what W3 says. Commit branch merge. Here we go. We have the emergency fix. First, we need to change to master branch. Git checkout master. Switch to branch master. Now we merge with emergency fix. Since the came directly, so it can fast, which is pointable. As a master, we can delete branch. Deleted branch. Interesting. I think it's merging to the file you're selected on, or sorry, to the branch you're currently in. So let's try that. Let's just create a new file. So git switch master. Okay, we're in the master branch. We're gonna do a new text file. Creating text file for master branch. And we're gonna save it as main text file dot text. Yes. Yes. And then I probably need to commit it. Git status. Yep. Git commit slash m slash a slash m. Adding text file to main. Why is that not working, man? That's kind of triggering me. E/m. I don't know why it's not working, but it's fine. I'll just do git add main text file dot text. Git commit. Console. Gotta actually. Ooh. I don't want VS Code open. Here we go. Let's try again. Waiting to close. Okay. I need to make a comment. Committing text file to main branch. git commit. Oh, I don't need, I'm using a totally wrong command. Git commit /m. Committing text file to main branch. Git status. Okay. Git switch new text file. I'm in my branch now, and I see nothing's there. So now I want to do git merge. Git merge in. Merging main branch text file into main. Text file into side branch. And then I have to do the branch I'm merging from. Okay, so there we go. It brought in git merge. And then if I switch to main, it probably won't have the example text. So git switch main, or git switch master, git switch master, git status, entry queen, yep, git switch new text file, that's so sick. Git status. Okay, so I don't need to commit after merging. Okay, so the merge command. Merges branch called out in command into branch you are currently in. i.e., if you are in a side branch and call out main, you will actually be merging main's files into your side branch. Most of the time, you will switch to the main/master branch and then call out a side branch to merge into it.
And there I can see that the file has now been merged back into main. Here in File Explorer, in the main view, I can now click on the secret recipe, and
That's
here
so
I can
sick.
see that the change has been merged in. And here main is now referring to 375 degrees Fahrenheit for the oven temperature. Now that we've merged all of the changes from fixed temp back into main, we no longer have any need for that additional branch. And at this point, we could simply delete that branch. To delete a branch, let's type in git branch, then enter -d, and then you could type in the branch name that you want to delete. I'll type in fixed temp, and then hit enter.
So I should, nice, that's dope. That's so sick, okay. Branches. Branch management is what I want to call this section of my notes, actually. And I need to spell management right. Okay. What did you get? Branch/d. Okay. Git branch -d branch name. Command to delete the branch. Command used to delete a branch. That's sick.
And that branch has now been deleted. Let's type in git branch, and here I can see that I only have one branch left, and that's the main branch, and that's also the branch that we are currently in. Overall, this merge went pretty smoothly. Nothing had changed in main, so it was really easy to bring our changes back in. But what if you create a branch and then you try to merge it back in, but main has changed since you created your branch? In that case, you'll have a merge conflict. So let's see how that works. And first, let's create another branch. Here I'm going to use a command that not only switches me to the new branch, but it also creates the new branch. I'll type in git switch -c. The C will create the new branch, and let's call this one update text, and then hit enter. Once again, to confirm that we have in fact switched to a new branch, I could type in git branch and then hit enter.
Second branch. Git switch. Git switch. C branch name. Command to create a new branch and switch to it at the same time.
And here, once again, I can see that we have two separate branches, and we're currently in the update text branch. Here in File Explorer, once again, all of the files that you see here reflect the update text branch. I want to make some edits to the index.html file. Here, I'll take the file and I'll drag it into Notepad so I can make some tweaks to it. Here we refer to the finest ingredients, but I think I'd prefer to say the best ingredients. And here I'll save the index.html file. And back within git bash, let's now commit these changes. Here I'll type in git commit, and then I'll type in -a -n, and here I'll say update index text, and then hit enter. Let's now switch into main, and we'll make a change there as well. Here I'll type in git switch main, and then hit enter. Here in File Explorer, this now represents the main view, and here I want to make a similar change to the index.html file. Here I'll select the file and I'll drag it over to Notepad, and here it refers to the finest ingredients. Let's say maybe the most amazing ingredients, and then I'll save this file and close it. Back now in git bash, let's commit these changes to main. I'll type in git commit -a and then -m, and here once again I'll say update index text, and then I'll hit enter. So I've now committed this change to main. Let's now try merging the changes from update text back to main to see what happens. To merge update text to main, let's type in git merge and then update text. And let's see what happens when we press enter. When I press enter, here I get an error message telling me that the merge failed. And the reason why is that there are conflicts.
Fix conflicts, then commit result. Okay.
And right down here in the bottom right-hand corner, I can see that I'm currently in a branch called main merging. Let's go back to File Explorer to see if I could resolve these merge conflicts. Here in File Explorer, I can see all of the files for the merging view. And if you remember, we had a merge conflict with the index.html file. Here I'll drag that file into Notepad. And here I can see some text that says head. Head refers to what's the current reality, or what's currently in main.
Nice.
And down below, I can see the text that I'm trying to bring in from the branch update text. And I can decide which one I want to keep. Now, I want to keep the text from update text. So here I'll delete the head, and here I'll delete this portion, and then I'll save the file. Let's go back to git bash. Back in git bash, I can now commit the change. Just like we've done before, I can type in git commit -a -m and then update text on index, and then I can close my quotes and hit enter, and that's now updated that merge conflict. So that's one way you can resolve your merge conflicts. And now that I've resolved that conflict, here I can see that I am now back in main. This should give you an idea of the typical flow that most people use in Git.
That is awesome.
That
is
feature
so
or
cool.
bug that you need to work on.
That is so cool.
First,
man.
you'll create another branch. Then you'll go in and you'll make all of your changes. Then you can merge it back into the main branch. And once you do that, then you'll delete the branch that you were working on.
I really got to start using this at work, at least playing around with it, since I'm always updating scripting files at work. At least playing around with it so I can get comfortable with using it for real.
Now that you understand the fundamentals of working with Git, you might be wondering, well, How do you work together and collaborate with others? So far, we've just been working with a Git repository that's hosted on your local computer. But you can also host your Git repository in the cloud. And one of the
Cloud,
most
baby.
popular
It's a
cloud
revolution.
repositories is called GitHub. Not only do they offer a cloud repository, but you could also manage your project. You could set up Kanban boards. You could track issues. You could assign features or bugs to different people. In a sense, it's a social coding website. Let's check out how you can get started with GitHub. First, we need to create a GitHub account. You could head to the
Already
following
did
website.
that.
You could click on a link up above or also down below in the description. On the homepage, type in your email address to kick off the flow for creating a new account. Once you finish setting up a new account, we can now create a cloud repo. Over on the left-hand side, you should see the option to create a new repo.
Here's the repo I created a while back.
You can also head to the URL github.new, and that'll also drop you on the new repo page. Let's click on this. You might be wondering, do I really need to create a cloud repo, especially if you just plan on working by yourself? Well, if you're planning on working with a team, it makes sense to set up a cloud repo so you can all work together. But even if you plan on just working by yourself, by storing it in the cloud, if something happens to your local computer, you have a backup and all of your repo files are safe. To set up a new repo, over here I need to enter in a name for this repo. I'll type in kevincookiecompany.com. Down below I could also type in a description for this repo. I'll leave it blank for now. Here I could decide, do I want to make this repo public so anyone can come in and access it? Or do I want to make it private?
Yeah.
If I make it private, I could assign different individuals access to my repo so I could just work with a smaller group of people. Down below, I also have some other options. Here, I could add a README file. I could also add a git ignore file. Remember earlier when we were working with our repo, we manually created a git ignore file, but here you could just create one as you create your repo. And down below, you could also choose to add a license. Now, all of this looks good. Let's click on Create Repository. Now that we've finished creating our repository, here I see a quick setup guide. Right here, I can see how to create a new repository on the command line. Right here, I see the option to push an existing repository from the command line. We already have a repository on our local computer that we've been working with for most of this video. We can take that repository and we can push it into the cloud. So let's get this first command, git remote add origin, and then this URL. Your URL will be specific to your GitHub account. Let's copy this and then go back to git bash. Within git bash,
okay, so I probably want to set up an actual repo for my real side project. So let's do that now. Okay, so what's the project gonna be called? BJJ Absolute Class Analysis. Now I need to create a repo, which I have not done for a while, but let's do that. Okay. Committing. Git config. Git and set repository or clear terminals of all info. In current directory. So I need to change my directory. Copy address as text. Here we go. Okay, I'm in the right directory now, so I need to initialize my repo. Git init initialize empty git repository. Yes. Okay. really think I need to do that. Any config for it. Let's check my other one. Git ignore. I really don't need a git ignore. Well, maybe I should make one just in case. We're going to do a new text file. Git ignore file. Git ignore. Let's spell it right. Yes. Check. Git ignore. Git.ignore. We're gonna open it. Git ignore file for BJJ absolute class. And then this is project. Not currently any files. We're going to go ahead and just create a, what is a .readme file? I kind of need to understand that a little bit. What is a readme file in a GitHub repo? Essential information and helps others understand what your project is about. How do you say how to project overview, usage, contributing license credits, documentation, guidance, installation. Maybe I should look for an example README file. Just going to start with this. Okay, project name. BJJ Absolute Class Analysis. In this project, I will be doing an analysis on BJJ tournament results to determine what is the minimum weight a competitor needs to be to have a realistic chance at winning the absolute class at a major tournament. The primary purpose of this project is to help me, is to combine my passion for BJJ with my desire to build skills that I will need to eventually become a data engineer. Overview. Project will ultimately contain the following: Python data pipeline pooling web data and storing in PostgreSDB. Postgres DB setup for raw data. Python data pipeline, pulling raw data from Postgres DB and cleaning Postgres DB, cleaning and storing in Microsoft SQL DB. Setting up Microsoft SQL DB, Power BI, or possibly Python, where I take data in MS SQL DB and visualize and analyze to answer the question, how much do you need to weigh to win a tournament to win the absolute class at a major BJJ tournament? Okay. Primary purpose primary passion BJJ to build skills that I will need. The project will ultimately begin following Python data pipeline storing in Postgres DB. Okay, so I'm going to save that as my README. README.md. So let's try to open that file. Nice. Let's check my repo. I want to commit those all. Git commit slash m slash blah blah blah. am committing readme and git ignore files. I don't know why that doesn't work. How do I... Is something wrong with this code? All tracked files. Ooh. All untracked files. You need to add an A. If you want to commit all untracked files, you can use the following. You can use or alt with git add to stage, commit changes, git commit explanation. I don't know. It's just like not. Why is it not working? Committing untracked files in Git. Let's see.
Hey everyone, it's your boy Odin from host.promo. Just to show you, capital A, and boom, now if we do git status files, if we do git status, you can see them all. All we need to do to add all of them is just go like this, git add, and then space, and then dash capital A, and boom, now if we do git status again, you can see we have all our files here. So that, my friends, is how you add files all at one time.
Git add dash a git status changes to be committed. Git add. I don't know. Git commit, whatever. I'm not that worried. Committing read and git ignore file. Ooh. Escape. Git log. And get, okay, that's fine. That's fine. So nice. Okay. Let's go back to the tutorial because he's going to teach me how to push to my online repo, presumably.
Here you can count. Let's copy this and then go back to git bash. Within git bash, here you could right click and you. Let's copy this and then go back to git bash.
So maybe I should just set up a new repo. Yes. BJJ absolute class analysis. There we go. So data engineering and analysis part to determine what weight a competitor needs to be to win the absolute class at a major BJJ tournament. Choose license. Create repo. Boom.
Specific to your GitHub origin and then this URL. Your URL will be specific to your GitHub account. Let's copy this and then go back to git bash. Within git bash, here you could right click and you could paste, or you could press shift and insert to paste what we just copied. Right here, this is establishing a remote connection with GitHub, and we're calling this remote connection origin. That's a common name that most people end up using. And here we can see what the address is that we're going to connect to.
Okay. Repo web address. Command to establish a connection. A web connection establish a connection to an online repo on GitHub.
Here, I'll press enter. Let's now go back to the website to see what the next command is. The next command will set now go back address is, that's a remote bash. Within git bash, here you could right click and you could paste, or you could press shift and insert to paste what we just copied.
Ooh, shift and insert. I really need to learn the keystrokes for git bash. Maybe. Let's try it again. Get remote. Copy. Shift, insert. There we go. Keystrokes. Git bash keystrokes. I'm gonna have to reorganize my notes. Git bash keystroke shortcuts. Shift plus insert to paste. Paste, aka paste.
Right here, this is establishing a remote connection with GitHub, and we're calling this remote connection Origin. That's a common name that most people end up using. And here we can see what the address is that we're going to connect to. Here, I'll press enter. Let's now go back to the website to see what the next command is. The next command will set the target branch to main. Let's copy this and then go back to git bash, and here I'll paste this in, and then let's run that command as well.
Bit git branch in. I need to spell right there, don't I? Git branch in. What does that do?
This, and then go back to git, and we'll set the target branch to main. Let's copy this, and then go back to git bash, and here I'll paste this in, and then let's run that command as well. Once again, let's go back to GitHub, and here we can now push all the contents from our local repository to the cloud. I'll copy this, and then let's paste this in, and once again, let's press enter. And here I can
git push. Git push origin master. Is it gonna work? Sure. Okay. That's pretty cool. So git push you main. Okay, command to push desired branch to online connections
see that my entire local repository has now been pushed to GitHub into the cloud repository. Back on GitHub, here I could click on the repository name.
Git status on your branches up to date with the origin/master. Nothing to commit. Working tree clean.
KevinCookieCompany.com. And check that out. Here I can now see all of the files from my repository.
That's so cool.
GitHub.
That's so cool.
Right up here, I see that there's currently only one branch, and I had another branch called update text. If we go back to git bash, I could also push through all of my branches. Here I could type in git push --all, and that'll push through all of my branches to GitHub. Let's press that. And here I can see that it also passed through the update text branch. Let's go back to GitHub. Here within GitHub, I can see now that there are two separate branches. I have my main branch, and then I also have the other branch titled update text.
So let's
now
create
that
a
we're on
branch.
GitHub, let's take a look around to see what we could do. Here I
Git branch. Git branch. Git branch. Update branch. And I honestly want to switch to it as well. Branch bash branch command. Git branch. Update branch. I don't know why the switch didn't work, but git switch update branch. Git status. Now how many branches do I have? Just the master branch. And then I want to say git push all. Git push total 0. Remote create a pull request for a remote. Not sure what's going there. Master. I mean, hey, it seems fine.
can click on my different files. So let's say I click on my primary logo.png. Here, I can preview what that looks like. Here, I'll go back. Right here, I could also see what the last change or commit was for a specific file. So right here with the secret recipe, here I can see that we updated the temperature for the baking instructions. Here, if I click on that, I could review what it was and what it was changed to. So here I could view that log or the Git log of all of the changes. Back on the main screen, if I want to add additional files here, I could simply drag and drop them onto GitHub, or I could click on add a file right up here.
That makes sense.
Let's say I want to edit one of these files. Here I could click on the file name, secret recipe. And here I could click on this edit icon. And I could go through and make changes directly in here. And once I'm all done, I could also commit directly on GitHub. Back on the main repository view, over on the right-hand side, here I could edit details about this project. I could click on this settings gear, and I could type in a description, the website. I could enter various topics. And here I could decide whether I want to include releases, packages, or environments directly here on the repository home screen. Up across the top of the page, we have all of these different tabs related to the project. And the first one is called Issues. Let's click into this one. Issues is where you can enter in feature requests, or maybe someone finds a bug. You could enter the details of that directly into this page. So let's say that on the home page, I noticed that we say that we get our sugar from India, but it turns out we also get it from the Philippines. So that's a bug on our home page. Right over here, let's click on New Issue. On the Issues page, over here, I can give this issue a title. And let me type out, we should call out that organic sugar comes from India and the Philippines. Over here, I could also type in additional details or comment. Over on the right-hand side, I can assign this issue to someone. Now, currently there's no one else on my team, so I will assign it to myself just so I can keep track of this issue. Down below, I could also assign a label. I'll click on the settings gear, and here I could add a bug, but you have all these other labels as well. I'll select bug. Right here, I could also assign it to a project. I could also assign various milestones. And I'm all done entering in the details here, so let's click on Submit New Issue. This has now successfully created an issue. And the great thing in GitHub is it's a social environment. So other people could come in here, they could leave a comment. We could discuss, is this truly a bug that needs to be fixed? And maybe what priority should we give it? We could have that discussion all right here within this page. Now, I have this issue assigned to myself, so I should probably get to work and update our index page
funny.
to also call out the Philippines. In the top left-hand corner, let's click on the Code tab. And right here, I have my index file. I want to edit this. I'll click on index.htm, and over here, let's click on this edit icon. Within the edit view, right up here, let's change it so it wraps. So here I can see all of the text on this page.
Yep.
And if I look right here, it calls out organic sugar only from India. And of course, we also get it from the Philippines. So here I'll say, and the Philippines. Now I'm all done making my changes. If I scroll down just a little bit, here I could commit it directly to the main branch, or I have the option to create a new branch for this commit and to start a pull request. So what to quit? Now I'm all done making my changes. If I scroll down just a little bit, here I could commit it directly to the main branch, or I have the option to create a new branch for this commit and to start a pull request. So what is a pull request? Well, I can start a new pull request, and then this change has to be approved. So especially if you're working with others, you can have other people go in, they can make changes, and then you can have them submit a pull request, so the change has to be reviewed by someone before you push it through to the main branch. I'll give this new branch a name, I'll call it Include Philippines Sugar, and then click on Propose Changes. This has now successfully created a new branch called Include Philippines Sugar. And now I want to submit a pull request. This is basically a request for someone to approve merging this back to main. Right down below, I can see the pull request details. It says update index.htm, but I probably want to be a little bit more explicit. I'll insert a dash and maybe include some text that says we should include Philippines as one of the countries that we get sugar from. All of this now looks good. Let's click on Create Pull Request. This has now successfully created a pull request. So we could go through and have a discussion about the merits of this change. And if everything looks good, we can then merge the pull request. Over on the right-hand side, there is a section called Development. And when I click on this settings gear, I can tie this change or this pull request back to the original issue. So here's the issue that I called out where we missed calling out the Philippines. I'll select that, and this is now tied back to that issue. Now, if I merge this pull request, here I'll confirm the merge. Not only will it merge this back into main, but it'll also close out the corresponding issue. Let's go up to the top of the page and click into issues, and here you'll see because I accepted that pull request or that change, it has automatically closed that open issue. Here if I click into closed, here I could review that bug that came in, and look at that, we're getting work done. That one is all done.
Nice.
Up at the very top, there are a few more tabs. There's one called Actions. And this is where you can run different tests. You can basically write programs to manage your repository. There is another tab called Projects. And this is basically a project management view where you can view all of your issues, view all your pull requests, you can filter the different views. It makes it really easy to manage your project. There is another tab called Wiki, and this is where you can document your code. It's kind of like Wikipedia, but for your project. There's another tab called Security, and this is where you can manage all of your different policies. You can define what should happen when, let's say, a vulnerability is discovered. You could also set up scanning if that's what you want. There's another tab called Insights, and this is where you can see, well, who's contributing to your project? What does the traffic look like? How many issues have been closed? How many commits have there been? How many people are contributing? You can view all of that right here. And lastly, there's another tab called Settings, and this is where you can configure various settings related to your project. Over on the left-hand side, if you click on Collaborators, here's where you can add additional people to work with you on your project. Let's go back to the main repository view. And over on the right-hand side, we can also create a release. Now, this is V1 of our website. Let's click here on Create. And here I can choose a tag. Why don't we call this release? And here I'll select that. And here I could give it a release title. I'll title it v1.0.0. This is just the first iteration. Over on the right hand side, you can see some suggestions for how you should name your release. Now, this all looks pretty good. Let's click on Publish Release. And look at this, we now have V1 available. And here, anyone can now come in and they could download the source code for the kevincookiecompany.com website. Now, you might be wondering, we made a few changes in GitHub on the cloud, but how do we get those changes back onto our local computer? Well, there are a few different commands that we could use. First, we could use git fetch, and this will download all the history from the remote tracking branches.
Okay, here we go. Creating text file to test out from my first GitHub repo. Name your file. First pool file. Edit. Dot text. Yes. Okay.
Fetch. And this will download all the history from the remote tracking branches.
Okay, let's try that out. Git fetch. Git fetch. Remotes.
Fetch. And this will download all the history from the remote tracking branches. And
did it download the file too? I'm not totally sure what that means, git fetch. It'll download all the changes from the remote tracking history.
And this will download all the history from the remote tracking branches. And to merge that in,
I think it's like git fetch. And to download all. How did he say it?
Will download all the history from the remote tracking branches.
History.
And to merge that in, we could type in git merge. And that'll now merge it in with what we have on directly here on the.
Ooh, I did not mean to go back all the way there.
Download the source code for the Kevin history from the remote tracking branches.
So if I do git status, will I see uncommitted stuff?
And to merge that in, we could type in git merge, and that'll now.
Let's see, object 6.6 compressing git from GitHub main origin new branch release new tag release. First pool text file. Maybe I need to do git fetch again. Maybe I fetched too early or something. Maybe I need to change to my master branch. Git branch. Oh, I'm not trying to git switch master. Git fetch. Git status.
I'll merge it in with what we have on our local machine. But instead of typing in those two separate commands, we could also type in git pull. And then I'll hit enter and
Git fetch. Git merge and changes. to use git pool.
This will download all of the files. So it basically combines fetch and merge into just one command.
Git pool, fast forward, updating, fast forward one file, change one insertion. That's sick. Git pool. Pools and merges in all files / changes, etc. from repo you are currently connected to.
And git pull. All right, well, hopefully.
So let's see, did I get it? That's so sick. That is so sick. There it is, man. That is awesome. And it probably already has my status as like everything's good because I committed on the online.
Now you have a strong understanding of how you can get started with both Git and also GitHub. To learn more, I've included some fantastic resources down below in the description. To watch more videos like this, please consider subscribing, and I'll see you in the next.
Okay. So the only question I really have here is, am I always connected or how does that work? Let's ask GPT. Let's ask GPT. Okay. Hey GPT. Hey GPT. When I do git remote add origin repo address, what is this doing exactly? Telling Git to associate a remote repository name origin. Here's what this command does. Git operates with a local repository. The git remote add establishes a connection to the remote repository. I mean, that makes sense. The word origin in git remote is a commonly used name for the default remote. You can use any name like establishing after running git remote. It saves in your local git configuration. This creates a link. Okay. Git config. Usage. Maybe it's in this file itself. Hooks. This creates a link. Git remote. Git remote. Git push, git pull, yep. This command pushes, or this command summary. Manage, this is this connection to the repo live? No, the connection in the remote establish being constantly active or real time setting. It simply records local git configuration, static configuration. Git remote remove, git set remote actions. When you perform these operations, git push connection. How do I check my origin? I don't know if that really makes sense. I don't know if it's going to understand that, but I hope it does. Let's configure it. Here we go, it does. Okay. Git remote. So there's some commands I can use. Git remote. Git remote. Git URL origin. Git remote show origin. Nice. Command displays list of all remotes along with their fetch and push URLs. Remotes, aka Git online repo connections. Okay, so what do I need to do now? I think we're almost done for today. I think I'm just gonna reorganize my notes a little bit here. And then yeah, so I'm gonna stop recording here in a second, but definitely learned a lot today. I'm gonna go through my notes, organize them so they're a bit easier for me to use going forward. I think I'm gonna start trying to use Git at work a little bit. Definitely gonna be using it as I work on my project here. Big shout out to Kevin Stratvert. This was a great video, really good, learned a lot from it, so I really appreciate the effort he put into this. Man, Git's super cool. I had a really good time learning this stuff, and yeah, making a little bit of progress one step at a time. Anybody who joined me, thanks so much. I hope it was useful for you too, and I'll catch you in the next one.